Okay, my apologies for such a terrible video last week. Last time I looked, it was on 6 likes and less than 100 views. That's terrible. That's terrible. What the hell was that? Excuse me a moment. The lady behind destroying the fence a bit more. Anyway, this week we're going to attempt to get the braking system sorted out. Now, over the weekend I stripped that unit completely down, greased up, stripped the shaft out, greased it all up, wire brushed it all back, and have put it back on the vehicle, and now everything is moving. Because what I didn't tell you last week is that shaft was seized up solid, but now it moves. The only problem is I can't remember what way round those two springs go, and they're both different in strength. I'm not 100% sure I've got them the right way around. So the plan today, I think I'm still a couple of inches too high. Now, I tried them pedals out yesterday with some carpet slippers on. Obviously carpet slippers are different from a pair of shoes, but they felt too high up still. Although they're a lot lower than what the last ones were, because if memory serves, the last pedals are up here somewhere, so they're in a better position than they were before, but they're still not in the right position. I want to cut this down here, right down to that area there, and get that extra inch. Now, I've got to keep this dead square, because when that gets bolted on, that fluid bottle has got to sit dead square, whereas in the previous one it wasn't. Actually tilted up a little bit, and that was concerning for me. So if I drop it down another inch, I've got this point here I can weld to then, and then I can plate this all off. The bit that I'm not happy about, I can't get that shaft out if anything go wrong. I am actually debating whether to weld some plates to this and bolt it all in. It might be a better option. But the downside to that is more work, bigger headache, and I'm not joking, we won't be getting that out. That shaft will not come out, because there is just nowhere, and I mean nowhere. I mean, we can pop the cap on this side, we can probably draw it out that way, but getting it all back together under here, springs and all, that's going to be a nightmare. We did speak about removing the lid, so we do have that as an advantage. But that's it. That's all I can really do. So I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and I'm going to have a good old hard think about this to what I think is best. We don't want a disposable brake unit. I want a repairable one. I think the term savaged would be appropriate. Look, kind of like this really. It was, I think it's going to be easier just to tear it all apart and start again. Very much so. So I've trimmed up the original bulkhead scuttle bit, and we're going to run a plate across there coming up. We're going to weld to that edge there for the new plate to come off, which will go no further than that, and then we'll plate that off, and then in here we'll just tidy up where we can and what we can. Unfortunately, there's no getting out of it now. I've got to buy another sheet of steel, because I don't have enough to do this. Even using that thick stuff I got on that tank isn't going to be enough. So I'm going to have to make a load of cardboard templates up, bead roll an awful amount of that metal, and attempt to weld it in place. I'll have to grind back tomorrow, get it a little bit cleaner. What you see will be covered, it's not going to be seen, and well, I think while we're here we might as well cut all the wires out as well, because they're all in the way, and just rebuild what we can as best as we can. It's a mess. All I've done today is to cut out that piece of metal, template it up first, and then I'll cut it out, and that tomorrow is going in place. I ain't doing it today, too much noise involved in it. And then I should do templates on the other side and do the same over here, lift the hood up, bonnet up, and make up new tire. I'm just debating at the moment whether to cut all of that mess out. The problem is the heater is connected to that, and I don't really want to lose the heater and have to remake mounts. I've got enough to do. Well, apologies in advance for not filming what I'm doing, but this is such a complicated job that I just don't want to have to worry about cameras and what I'm doing at the same time. So I'm just doing it, and this is it so far. I picked up a bit of warpage just there, and that wasn't the welding that did it, it was that bloody sander. Put too much pressure on the metal and it went out on me. So there's going to be some filler there, I can't be helped. But the rest of it appears to be going okay. I decided not to cut that piece of metal out that's underneath. That has actually proven to be very useful, because I've got a couple of wedges underneath this tin just to get it to sit where it needed to. But as I said, I've got a little bit of warpage going on now. I don't really know how to bring that back. I'm wondering whether to put a relief cut in like I did here, because I had warp here as well, and try and weld it back up again. I genuinely just don't know what to do about it at this point in time. So the next part of this is, right, well, there's the first one. I kind of decided the only way I'm going to do this successfully is to put it in sections, because there's just too many tight curves, as you can see. So the next one to cut is going to be here, and we'll fill that corner in, but I just need to check that it's not going to be a problem with the bonnet. Bearing in mind, I think that tucks in under, so we're going to have to go flat there, and I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go along. Right, well, we've got one more bit to do. I'm packing up for the day, and that's the piece to fill in there. And the reason for that was the tuck on the bonnet. Otherwise I'd have just gone straight down to that edge, but the bonnet, I forgot about the tuck. Get round the tuck on that top piece, I just can't get round it on that bottom piece. So I've spent the best part of, what, 2 hours shaping that piece of steel to do what it's doing. Oh boy, and I've got the same thing to do again on the other side, except that side it's going to be even harder, because there's no trough or tray to fix to. And I'm not lying, I ain't got a clue how I'm going to do this. And the other problem I've discovered, I followed the lines of the corners on the bonnet, and that one is more sharper than that one, so it's not going to quite look right. Hence the angles on the bead rolls. It's to take the eye away from the corners. When you look at this, I'm hoping people will not notice, because they'll be too busy looking at other things. Now when we get to that heater, that's going to be even more of a problem, because we've got, as I said before, the steering is a bit of an issue. My temptation to cut that framework out and start all over again on the steering is great, but it comes with its own problems, and that's the steering wheel boss and other bits and pieces. So I don't know at the moment how I'm going to do that, but the next one tomorrow will be a heater. Right, I would say good morning, but it isn't. It's 4 in the afternoon and I've been really busy, and I do apologise for not giving you the shots that you probably were waiting for, but trust me, this has been very brain taxing, and trying to do this and produce a video at the same time for you, extremely difficult. But I promise on the next video on this, which is the doorposts, I will leave the camera running and do a few speeded up shots and stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at so far. That's completely boxed in now. The hole at the top, that's where there's going to be a lid, and that lid will be sealed down with sealant, so if I ever have to access any of that shaft for any particular reason, I can. The only thing I'm a little concerned about, as I said to you, is trying to hide all the gaps, you know, fill all the gaps up so fumes don't get in there. That's going to be a bit tricky with that steering, because I just don't know what to do about it at the moment, other than oh, I don't know what to do with it. Genuinely, I don't know. Suggestions, welcome. I welcome all suggestions. Right, morning. Something I forgot to do yesterday. Another one off the list. Right. Don't know why I forgot that. Okay, so we've got that middle piece to finish today. Right. So today I've got to fill in that area and clean back some of the welding. I still don't know whether to grind back that welding on that side and add more that side, or clean that side off completely. But what I do know I'd like to do is that lip here. I'd like to add a piece of alley folded over, because this has not been easy. Okay, this has tested my skill set and has proven to me that although I do have something there, I don't have a lot, and I never got that line as correct as it should have been. And this is my third attempt, and all three attempts have gone the same way, although the other two attempts all of that area was messed up. So we're getting better, because I personally think that don't look too bad. I know it's a bit patchwork down there, but there was nothing I could do about that. That's the only way of getting that to where it is. We'll try and make a cover plate for that as well today, and we'll try and grind back all that area, and we'll get a wire brush and we'll clean up all the welding. We'll grind that shelf down so it's neat, and we'll try, if we've got enough welding wire, because I know I'm getting low, we'll try and weld up and clean up that corner as well while we're at it. And I won't be able to do it today, but I need to do something about that hole where the steering rack is coming through, because that is not going to work. Okay, there you go. The angle's sharper this side than it is that side. The ruler has dictated that shape. It looks out. I'd like to sit there and say it is out, but it isn't, because it does line up where it needs to. There you go, guys. Best I can get it. All you can ever ask of somebody is their best effort, and that's my best effort under the circumstances. Noise restraints, outside conditions, lack of equipment, skint. I think we've done quite well. I'm quite pleased with that. So what we've got left to do, quick wire brush back just to clean up some of it, spray some etch primer over, and then the lid will go on, and that is it. That's all I plan to do today, and nothing next week as such. I might try and get the brakes done, but just because it's a quieter job. But there you go. It is the best I can do. It's not brilliant, but it's good enough. It's not a show car. It was never intended to be as such. Although I do like the idea of parking this next to a few Morris Minors, if you know what I mean. There you go, sanded back, cleaned. I'll tell you what, that silver with black around all the joins ain't all that bad. But I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I just got to let that dry off in the sun now. And then we'll hit it with some etch primer, and that's it. We'll button everything up and we'll get the video laid up. So, yeah. I am recording. Bloody women. The runs come free of charge. There you go. That mean, don't you? Means I can ticken up. Flipping heck, what is wrong with you two?
I didn't know who you were speaking to, did I?
We apologise. I'm so sorry, sir.
Oh, you sarcastic so-and-so. Right, well... Sorry?
I said 3 bags full, sir.
Right. Where is it? Scuttle. I've lost it. Windscreen, door, glass, grille, fixed clutch, end loom, paint, wiper, base. Where there it is. Oh, I need me white marker. Scuttle, but no battery tray. We haven't done that yet. So we do that. We can cross that one off. So battery tray come another day. Might actually put that in the back. So what we got next week? Well, next week I'm doing the bikes because it's holidays. Everyone's home that needs to be home, and I don't want to piss everybody off. So I'm going to do the bikes. But the week after that, I think it's door posts. We've got to fix this, sort that gap out. Need to fix this. We've got gaps up there, doesn't match the other side anyway, so I've got to take that off, peel that back a bit, and then cut into all of that, pull that out, we'll make a new one, and fix down the bottom here, and then we can do the door seals. So that means I've got a bit of wire brushing to do down here, and I need to get some angle iron as well, and we can get that job done. That one's in 2 weeks time roughly. In between jobs I am going to get the lid made for that brake unit, and I'm also going to fit the brake unit back on and get those pedals sorted out once and for all. I mean the new box is in place, so that's great. I'm really chuffed about that. So yeah, so that is it. I'm sorry it's not another video of action and all the rest of it, but it's been such a hard one to do that to concentrate on where the camera is, how I'm going to get the next shot, and all the other bits that come with filming was just too difficult to do. I needed an extra person really to help with the camera, and that wasn't possible because the wife doesn't like doing it, and she's an argumentative old so-and-so when it comes to holding the camera. So bless her heart, as you just noticed. She can be a pain in the butt. I love it a bit. So anyway, so that's it for this week. Last video was a bit disappointing on the likes and everything else really, but if you did press the like button, I'm dribbling, if you did press the like button, and if you did share it. Thank you very much for that. I very much appreciate that, and I hope this one is a better one. I'll keep the music to a minimum, if none at all. So I'll see you next week. Bye bye.